Welcome to Collaboration Conversations. I'm your host, Regina Partain Bergman. I am thrilled today to have Julie Elves as our co-host today and the amazing panel of women that she has brought together. I can't wait to learn more about each of these women and the things that they're doing in the world, the difference they're making, and part of that being how they collaborate with others. So welcome to the panel, ladies. So glad to have you here.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Awesome. So, Miss Julie, I am so thrilled that you agreed to be our guest co-host today and brought these beautiful and amazing women with you. Would you tell our audience a little bit about who you are, kind of your journey getting to where you are in life now, who you serve and why?
Okay, no problem. I'm Julie, and I'm known as the Fearless Lioness Specialist because I used to be an abandoned, rejected, invisible, abused, and people-pleasing kitten. But now I have completely revolutionized myself and transformed myself into a fearless, strong, and confident lioness, as well as finding my roar again. And I even have my own unique definition for the word fear and roar. Would you like to know what they are?
I would love to.
Okay. Fear has three definitions already, and then I'll tell you my fourth. Face everything. No, hang on. Forget everything and run is the negative one. Face everything and rise is the positive one. Fear of the unknown. Is that fear of the unknown? Hang on. False evidence appearing real is the neutral one, and my one is feel excited and roar.
Love it.
And roar is an acronym for you must be resilient, optimistic, adaptable, and resourceful.
Excellent. And Julie, who do you serve?
Yeah, I'm extremely passionate about my mission, which is to help 1 billion female entrepreneurial kittens become fearless, strong, and confident lionesses that they were born as and want to be again, so that they can live a life by design and not by default. So for the past 13 years, I've helped many women in my city and around the world who suffer from things like imposter syndrome, people pleasing, and many different kinds of fear to become fearless, strong, and confident lionesses and to find their roar again.
Fantastic. What an amazing goal that is. Now, tell us that number again, how many women you want to be impacting?
1 billion. That's a lot.
1 billion. This woman knows how to dream big and make it happen. I love it, Julie. Awesome. Julie, would you introduce our panelists and have them share about themselves as well?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I feel extremely privileged and honored to be doing this chat with these incredibly fearless, strong, and confident lionesses who have all been phenomenal guest speakers for my Unleash Your Lioness Pride, as have you, Regina. So without further ado, not in alphabetical order or any order in particular, Jill Tiny is the collaboration catalyst and international speaker. Jill has always been passionate about bringing great people together to collaborate and make a positive difference to our world, both locally and globally. And she does this through her podcast, her book, and her collaboration global community. And she's on a mission to teach the world to collaborate. And she believes that this is a way for growth at all levels, from personal through to business growth. And when we pay it forward, what we learn, there is growth for our communities and the planet too. So welcome to the chat, Jill.
Oh, thank you, Julie, for having me. It's such a thrill to be invited. But I really love listening to you say my bio. It's really kind of like, yeah, that's good. I like that. It's reinforcing it too. I haven't heard that for a little while out loud like that. So thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Awesome. So Jill, can you tell us just a little bit about who you serve and why?
Sure. Yeah. I'm attracting people that are on a mission. They kind of suss their purpose and they are attracting and also have big goals like Julie does, massive inspirational goals. So I kind of surround myself with people that I want to emulate, that I want to inspire me as well as for me to inspire them. And the idea being that together we're going to be stronger. If we can collaborate in any way, shape or form, and the optimum thing is like, how can I help? What can I do? And there's always something that we can do. There's always something we can learn. And then how can we pay it forward? So I just generally want to get great businesses together, great business owners who are on a mission, and let's see how we can spread their reach to reach as many people, create new audiences, create new markets for them so they can reach as many people as possible, because they have an important mission as well, exactly the same as Julie, to reach as many people as they possibly can just to make an impact. And the pay it forward element is about us making a better world together.
Love it. Julie?
Yeah, I love that. That's great. Okay, next we have Linda Fisk. Linda is the CEO of Leadership Global. Linda is a multi-award winning leader, keynote speaker, best-selling author, and university professor dedicated to amplifying and extending the success of other high-caliber business leaders. Leadership Global is a community of unstoppable women enhancing their leadership blueprint and embracing their power to be the best version of themselves in work and life. And last time I checked, you had something like 10,000 in your network. Is that right?
That's right. We have 10,000 members, and we have more than 35,000 subscribers to our podcast, our TV show, our newsletter, and our events. So thank you, Julie.
No, you're welcome. Yeah.
Wow.
So Leadership Global, as Julie said, is really an impactful community that is based on the idea of collaboration. This is a community of extraordinary women in leadership around the globe. And we offer them a comprehensive methodology that's designed to really help them accelerate their success. We offer them the opportunity to unleash their full potential in community, in a safe, confidential, and supported community that allows them to grow, connect, learn, and access the kind of resources and tools, the kind of funding and media opportunities that perhaps otherwise they would not have access to. So we help members accelerate their success by helping them define their vision, grow their leadership, expand their influence, and truly leave a lasting legacy. But all of that is done in collaboration. So we believe that there is incredible power in collaboration based on mutual respect that's formed by extending trust, really, and a fundamental awareness of the key relationships in your life and in the community that may provide that next step of transformation, of growth and leverage that you're looking for.
Amazing.
Fantastic. Okay, the next guest I have is, and I apologize, Mitali. Mitali De Perkesla.
That was actually quite good. Well done.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Mitali is the vegan publisher, and she is also my personal book coach. Mitali is a ghostwriter turned business book expert, and she transforms coaches, consultants, and speakers into thought leaders by becoming published authors within 90 days. She is the author of the international #1 bestseller, The Freedom Master Plan, which reveals how her clients leveraged their books to build unshakable authority in their field. Welcome, Mitali.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I apologize for my disheveled appearance. I'm not very well at the moment. Yeah, I think I'm coming down with something. So if you see me shivering, it's nothing that anyone is saying. It's just that I'm not very well.
Who do you serve, Mitali?
I work with, I would say, purpose-led business owners, people who genuinely are using their business, their brands to make a difference, whether that's to animals, whether that's to other human beings, whether that's to the planet as a whole. As a copywriter, a former copywriter, I've written all kinds of content. I've written emails, landing pages, sales pages, books, and the piece of content that made the biggest difference for my clients was writing a book. There's something about saying that you're an author that it makes you stick out in the best way possible. It makes you stick out like a sore thumb. And that's exactly what you need when you have a business or a brand. There's so much noise online, but as soon as you become an author, opportunities come to you. So I'm really passionate about helping people who are using their brand in a positive way in the world, helping them get as much visibility and media attention as possible.
Oh, great. Okay.
Wonderful.
Last but not least, Blaney Teal. Blaney is the founder of Making Business Connections, MBX, as well as being known as the Frugal Techie Coach and the founder of the Next for Success Accelerator Academy. She has impacted the lives of countless entrepreneurs and business owners with her vibrant, energetic, and magnetic personality. With over 25 years in the entrepreneurial industry, Blaney has a passion for helping business owners to shorten the learning curve and save them time and money. And she loves sharing her business tips and experiences with everyone she meets. Welcome, Blaney.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you guys for having me. So excited to be here today. So I know you're going to ask me, who do I serve? So I'll answer that for you guys. So I love to serve entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and business owners. And I love to teach them that it's not about competition when you're networking, because I'm all about networking and growing your business. It is about joint ventures and collaboration. That is the end game. So I serve them in a very specific way in person and virtually through networking organizations. But there's that bigger picture of showing them it's just not about the immediate referrals, that they can grow in scale when they look at the bigger picture. Even folks that they may consider to be your competitors can be the best collaboration partners ever. And we do that, of course, through a couple of events that we put on every single year that are collaboration events that we can talk about later. So, but that's what I love to serve. And then the frugal techie, I'm techie, you guys. I love tech. So I love when I can teach you something new that'll save you time and money. Maybe it's not a collaboration, but I know you'll be thankful because you'll have more time to collaborate if you spend less time on doing those mundane things.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow. I am truly humbled by this group of women and the things that you are doing in the world. I am, Julie, great job on really putting together a fantastic panel here. So I am so excited to hear more about how you are collaborating. Many of you mentioned collaboration in your introductions. And so I really want to explore that. How are you doing that? What are you doing? So Linda, you mentioned something about a membership group and collaboration through that. Tell us about that a bit.
Absolutely. So we are a membership-based organization for women in positions of leadership all over the world. We have members in Africa and Europe and Asia, South America, North America. But the one uniting belief that I think is common among all the members of Leadership Global is, number one, they believe in deeply investing in the success of women all over the world. So there is this sense of partnership that they enter the community with. They are seeking opportunities for collaboration, opportunities to deeply invest in the success of other women. And the second belief system that unites all the women of Leadership Global is this idea that women are deserving, they are worthy, they are valuable, and they are to be treated with honor and respect, no matter where they live in the world, no matter what their path led them through, no matter where they are right now. Every single woman around the world deserves to be treated with honor, respect, and dignity. And so if you believe those two things, you are welcome to be a part of Leadership Global. The majority of our members are corporate CEOs or business founders, business owners. So almost everyone that is a part of Leadership Global has a revenue base of about $10 to $100 million. They are business owners, they are business founders, and they're corporate CEOs for multinational, multi-million-dollar firms. But again, I think that everyone in Leadership Global really does believe in the idea of mutual respect that's formed by extending trust to other people. And then also, I believe that all the women of Leadership Global understand that there's an opportunity to adopt a new approach to problem solving, a pioneering approach to cooperation that can redesign the relationships in your life. And it's all based on collaboration. In my mind, true power is actually more than just collaboration. It's about moving to a relationship that involves co-creation. It's really about shared risk, shared responsibilities. It's about interdependency that creates organizational transformation. So it's more than just collaboration on a project or an initiative. True collaboration is about identifying shared values and then leveraging the combined strengths of each person in that collaboration to achieve sort of a level of impact that absolutely could not be achieved independently. So we encourage all the women of Leadership Global to step into the power of collaboration and partnerships. And we believe that that creates a solid foundation for families, for businesses, for communities, and honestly, it can impact the world. I really believe that partnerships and collaborations that are founded on trust and mutual respect can foster an explosion of creativity, kind of creating a multiplier effect. And I've seen it transform the lives of women in leadership all over the world.
Beautifully said. There's nothing I can add to that. That was wonderful.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah, and isn't that really why we do collaborate with one another? Is that impact that it's not just, as you say, not just about the collaboration, it's about that impact.
Yeah.
And that ripple effect.
I have such a deep appreciation for truly the transformative power of collaboration and partnership. And I've seen it create, communities, regions of the world. And I believe it has the capacity to create a world that is more inclusive, that's more prosperous, that's more sustainable and resilient. And that's really, I think, the vision, the mission of organizations like mine and others around the world, is to create a world that is more inclusive, that is more prosperous, that, as Julie is on a mission to create resilient leaders, I think that collaboration and partnership can create sustainable change and resilient leaders.
Absolutely. Yes, I 100% agree. Jill, would you take a moment, tell us a little bit, your whole company is built on collaboration as well, right? Collaboration Global. Tell us a little bit about Collaboration Global and how you're collaborating and changing the world through collaboration.
Yeah, one collaboration at a time. Before I go on to my community, I just want to acknowledge what Linda's just said. Mutual respect, trust, problem solving, redesigning relationships, co-creation. Do you not feel that this is the time, post-pandemic, that we are in the perfect space now for women to become lionesses, to rise and create all those things that are currently lacking in most collaborations? Most collaborations are on the transactional. Well, if you do this for me, then I'll do that for you. And you get 20%, and maybe I'll get 30%, and somebody else will get something else. And it's very coming from that paradigm of fear, scarcity, and competition. And as Blaney was saying earlier, competition is a good thing. It's like, competition doesn't need to be something like, well, you might steal my clients, or I'm not going to give you my IP because then you're going to use it and I won't have it. And well, hang on a minute. What if we share stuff? What if we help each other? What if we support each other? And this is generally what women have always done. If you're bringing up the children and you've got to take one to school and one to nursery, you ask a mate, could you do a school run for me? You help each other out. Right. What if the business world were to just get the hang of that, helping each other out? Two business coaches working together. How lovely is that? My previous business partner came about. He was a business coach. I'm a business coach. We do roughly the same thing. He likes doing that bit. I love doing that bit. Neither of us like doing that bit. So together we were stronger. And then we pulled somebody else in to do the bit we didn't like to do. So the client gets three people that are passionate about their individual thing and know how to collaborate with each other to make it stronger for the client. It's a win-win all round, rather than this protectionism that we're so used to. So yeah, a round of applause for Linda. She's so on it. And I think the time is right for us all to rise and all to make a difference. So what I've done is the Collaboration Global Community has been around in one form or another for about 10 years, but we used to meet face to face in the UK. God bless the pandemic, we are now a global organization because we meet online. And I was concerned that meeting online was going to be that, well, you can't give each other a hug when it gets a little bit emotional, or if we touch a raw nerve, how do you deal with that? And our very first meeting, we had men and women in the meeting, as we still do. And I sort of went around going, do you want to acknowledge somebody who said something that's meant something to you, or an impact that's been made, or something you're going to go and do? And one guy who was, I think he was a financial advisor or something, suited and booted, very proper, was like, yeah, that was that was really good. We've got this guy that would probably never dream of showing his emotions in a face-to-face meeting, and I thought, well, we can do this. We can do this, because if you're not connecting emotionally and at a deeper level with people, rather than this is what I do for a living, this is how I make my money, which is generally most networking spaces. If you're talking about what gets you angry, what gets you upset, what are your triggers, that's when a collaboration, when you know that about each other, you can really go to the next level. You can really make sure that that collaboration is going to not only work for the market or the project that you're doing together, but you pay it forward. You can have repercussions. Well, we've just done it for that market. We could do it over there for that charity. We could do it over there for that cause. We could put it into our community. Where can we go with this? Because you're having fun. You trust each other. You enjoy each other's company. You know what each other's triggers are. You've had that connection that is much, much deeper than the normal business fear, scarcity, competition paradigm. So we work in Collaboration Global around the paradigm of love. It's our superpower. Connection, deeply connected, and a mindset and a heart set of abundance. Do you know what? There's enough out there for everyone. And from that space, it's like, what would the world look like if everybody worked from that space? So for me, the potential is teach the world to collaborate, and we'll eradicate all the problems that are out there, because they've all got problems, the solutions already. We know that. It's just what's happening. There's a blockage. Redistribution seems to be a bit of a problem. But if we know how to collaborate effectively, eventually the people that are causing the blockage won't be able to anymore, and we can get to work and get these things sorted.
Well said. Well said, Jill. Yes.
So many gold nuggets, Jill. Fantastic.
Yeah. Julie, why don't you unpack a few of those? There are a lot of golden nuggets in there.
No, well, Jill's community is based on love, and when you join, I've joined a couple of times, you can feel the love coming through the screen at you, and it's very open, and you can be vulnerable, which is great. You know, I feel like the silver lining to the pandemic is the world is a lot closer now, virtually, because we're virtual, and people have just gone far and beyond their dreams in terms of online business, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I do think as well, as you say, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, allowing yourself to be authentic and genuine. And I think we've always had that facade, haven't we? How's your business? It's fine. Everything's great. I mean, I was really pleased. Matali's here today, and I saw her yesterday, and she's gone through, she's jet lagged. She's got all sorts of things. And she said straight away, I don't feel great. I'm not feeling very well. It's like, that's what we should all be like. If we're having a bad day, be allowed to say you're having a bad day. It's called being human.
Yeah.
So one of our values, going back to what Linda was saying about values being shared, I always talk about values being aligned, so that you might not have exactly the same values, but one of our values, which hopefully people are aligned with, is human being first. That means that we don't care whether you're a man or a woman. We're not going to hold it against you if you're a man, or if you're in between, or if you're gay or straight or black or white or sky blue, pink, tall or short, fat or thin, blah, blah, blah. You're a human being first. Therefore, because we are connected as a human race, we should be there for each other. So because you're a human being first, we love you. And because we love you, we trust you. And because we trust you, we respect you. And it's up to you if you want to lose that. It's this kind of mutual respect that Linda was talking about that really builds everyone up. And it's like they say, the boats in the harbour, they all rise when everybody rises together. And you're living up to big expectations. So you're being your best you, because you want to, because the people around you are helping you to be better than you could be on your own. None of us can do it on our own. No one.
Love that, Jill. I so agree. And to your point, I think there are just maybe a few key factors that should be considered to create to operate and sustain an effective collaboration. And I love what you had to say about that. And I think it all begins with equity and respect. It's about acknowledging the value that each individual person brings to the partnership or the collaboration, and the power of that collaboration is built on harnessing the gifts, the talents, the knowledge, the expertise of each individual person. And it's also about genuine commitment. You have to come to the collaboration or the partnership with good faith. You have to keep the focus on creating a partnership with a shared vision, with a definition of success that's motivating, that's inspiring, and that everyone can rally around. And then, as you said, Jill, I love the idea of transparency. It's about openly sharing information. It's about maintaining clear lines of communication. It's about having really honest discussions around difficult issues that are important to unearth, that are important to air, that are important to work through. In partnership, understanding that you're both working towards, or the community is working towards, a shared goal. So being able to have those honest discussions in a very vulnerable, transparent kind of way, I think is absolutely fundamental. I love that.
I agree completely. You know, something you said. Oh, please, Julie, go ahead.
Sorry, I want to add that the most favorite thing I love about collaboration is I'm surrounded by a massive squad of cheerleaders, and that is phenomenal to be able to have that much support, that much positivity coming at you. You know, it's difficult to have a bad day when you've got so many cheerleaders trying to support you, trying to make you feel better. Yeah.
Absolutely. One of the comments that you made there, Jill, that really struck me. I mean, it was all wonderful, but one thing that you said was that you give people trust first. They're not having to earn it before you trust them. And I think that's counterintuitive for most people, and for most of the world. I think we make people prove their trustworthiness a lot of times before we trust them. And you're giving them that as a gift to start with.
Yeah.
And as a result, I think they're coming in at a higher level of integrity.
I think so. So yeah, I think the world that we live in, we're taught to protect ourselves, and that's fair enough, because people have got stung and they'll say, "Oh, I can't trust people straight off the bat because I was caught out, or I was conned,
Right.
or I was," and they've been hurt, and you get that. But I can't help it. I'm an eternal optimist, and I always give my trust. I always give my love. I'm really disappointed, you know, and I'd rather, it's like a child, a 4-year-old. If you give them some responsibility, they'll live up to that.
Right.
And exactly as you said, you kind of live up to that offer of a gift. You know, I'm giving you something precious, very
Right.
so precious. And if people want to lose that, well, then they're probably not in the right space, and they need some support and they need some help.
Right.
But if you give somebody trust and they're like, okay, then I'll live up to that, and it's like, yes, and you're empowered on day one. You know, so it's a great feeling. And like I say, you know, I trust that the universe sends me the right people. I trust that the universe sends me a parking space on Christmas Eve. I trust that the universe is going to make my life easier. So yes, I have been stung in the past, but no more than anybody else. And in fact, I've probably been blessed a lot more than others. So I trust that I'm on the right path, and that I'm being looked after along the way.
Very good. Very good. Mitali, I hope you're feeling better as we go along.
This is me. I honestly wasn't. I think I sent a message to Julie, I think a couple of hours ago, and I just said, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. But then I just thought, I'm not missing this, you know, like amazing women like this talking about collaboration, which is what I'm all about. I was going to turn up, even looking like this. I was going to turn up. So. Yeah, so I'm kind of following on what Jill said. I'm part of Jill's community, by the way. I'm a fully paid up member because I absolutely love what she does. And being in a community is what allows me to, you know, for her to see me, you know, 24 hours ago saying, yep, I feel like death warmed up at the moment. I've only had a few hours of broken sleep. I flew in from Ohio, so I'm completely jet lagged, and I think now I've got a bug. But the reason I can be this authentic is because I have great collaborators like Jill in my life. And it's something that, you know, I've bought into my own business. So the vegan publisher is expanding this year to include PR and marketing after the fact. So what I used to do and still do is help people write and publish books. But then after that, I was kind of cutting the apron strings a little bit and saying, off you go into the world with your book. And I realized that I need to do more for my clients, because I'm sure you've all experienced reading a very mediocre book. That's me being kind, using the word mediocre. But the book has done amazingly well because the author collaborates, they have contacts. And then I've read some amazing books that are literally the world's best kept secret, because the author either isn't collaborating or doesn't know how to collaborate. They don't have the contacts, and the book just gathers electronic dust on Amazon, and it's not helping anybody and not making the impact it needs to make. So in the same way, I know that I couldn't, if I want to start, helping people do PR and marketing for their book after they become an author, that could be several years of me learning PR and marketing. Or I can collaborate with people, which is what I'm doing. I'm now collaborating with PR and marketing specialists around the world, because I know it's country specific. So my business is going to probably grow triple by the end of this year, because I'm willing to collaborate instead of thinking that I have to do everything myself. And it's something I also teach with my authors. So Julie is one of my awesome authors inside my group, and I have a community within that group. And it was really key for me when I launched this group, that it wasn't just going to be a group where I teach people how to research, plan, write, edit their books, do cover design, etc., etc. I wanted to create a community of authors, because once your book is out, it's those authors that are going to help you. They're the ones who are going to be talking to any podcast hosts they know, to any radio stations they may be involved with, any TV stations. That's where success is. We can't do it alone. And I think the other thing I'd love to add is, because I'm aware that some people might be watching this and going, yeah, this is all sounds really nice and fluffy, but is does collaboration really pay? It pays. Cold hard cash, it pays. So if you don't care about the fluffy stuff that I'm passionate about, collaborate, because it actually makes you more money, which means you make a bigger impact in the world.
So true. So true. Thank you, Natalie. I'm really thrilled to hear how you are collaborating in the book world. I think there's a real need for that. And yes, many of us have published a book and it's gathering Amazon dust, as you say. And so, yeah, that is, I'm inspired by what you're saying about collaborating around the books. So thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Miss Blaney, not last but not least.
I love it. I love it. Oh gosh. Well, it's really hard to follow all these amazing women. Honestly, you guys are all just a blessing, and your message is so on point. And I'm going to take a little different spin, because that's who I am. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about, Jill, I'm right on there with the abundance mentality. Number one, MBX, by the way, we live by what is called the FUN method of networking. And the FUN is an acronym, like Julie has her acronym. So the F is to find your abundance mindset, because there is enough business for everyone out there. And I believe when we're networking and we're building our joint ventures and our collaborations, you've got to keep that in mind, right? You got to understand that, like you said, there is no real competition. They can be your best collaboration partners. And just because somebody does what you do doesn't mean they do it the exact same way you do, right? So I always say not everyone's a one-stop shop, right? When it comes to networking, when it comes to providing their services. And then we have the U, which is to understand others and lead with value. So again, how can I help? I think Jill said the same thing. I've heard, how can you help? How can we help you? Can we introduce you to someone? I got Forbes Riley as my keynote speaker on my small business virtual extravaganza. She's writing the whatever you call the beginning of my book she's writing the intro to my book. We're going to be doing, she's coming to my resort to do a collaboration retreat. So, but I would have never met her if it wasn't for people leading with value and saying, you've got to meet this lady. And now I have her cell phone number and we actually talk like friends. It's amazing, right? And actually she offered her studio up for my networking events in St. Pete's. Like that would have never flipping happened if it wasn't for collaborations and people leading with value. And then the end is to nurture your connections and treat them like friends you want to hang around with. You know, I used to say family, and then I'm like, wait a minute, there's too much drama in family. We don't want drama in these relationships, right? So we want to treat them like friends because you pick your friends. You want to hang around people that uplift you, right? That are fun to be around. So that's how we created MBX, Making Business Connections, in the fun method of networking. But I want to share a little story with you because I was approached by another networking organization in the UK who said, I've got this brilliant idea. I want to do this collaboration with you. And he goes, I've been putting it out there to the universe and everybody's shooting me down because their fear of the competition. Like, right? Why would two networking groups want to collaborate together? That's crazy. Well, it's absolutely not, right? Because I run in-person events in Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Texas right now. Actually, in Houston is one of our locations. But I also do global events, and I don't want to put on a ton of them, right? I love doing mine, but I don't want to do one every single day. I got a lot on my plate, right? So he came to me and said, why don't we come up with this idea where if they join your group, they can come to my events for free. And if my people can come to your events for free. And I'm like, I love it. I was shocked to hear how many people turned him down at first. And now we have over 20 networking groups in the joint collaboration. It is totally a global, South Africa, Canada, UK, and United States with a few other on the way. But now my members, not only when they pay to join my virtual only group, they actually get access to about 20 other groups for no additional fee. And that's 100 more events they can choose to go to should they want to. Like, to me, that was a no-brainer to collaborate with him. But people were like shooting him down left and right, like, oh, you're going to steal my customers. But he actually has a fail-safe in there where there's a check where people are registered so we know where they came from, so they can't quit one group to go to a cheaper group or anything like that. They were very smart about it. But oh my gosh, my members love it because now when they join, they can go to over 100 events per month and still be a part of my group. So that's one really great example. Don't be fearful of that, right? And then twice a year, we put on what's called the Small Business Virtual Extravaganza. And it's a huge undertaking. I have about 30 speakers from around the world. And I used to host it all by myself. I did everything. I do the tech. I love tech. I told you guys that. I love tech. I run the whole event. It's a 2-day event. About 900 to 1,500 people attend. It's crazy. Well, I finally realized I need to bring on a co-host, just like Regina did. I'm like, because I can do it all. But the power of the two of us hosting, and he's a male and I'm a female, which then gives two different vibes, right? It attracts two different people. He has this huge network. He happens to be the owner of this joint collaboration networking group. So a no-brainer. He's got the people to bring to our events. And so he's done it now with me twice. And I can just see a whole shift in the way I just got so many speakers coming back to me saying, your event was the best event I've ever done in terms of organization, but also in results. Meaning people showing up live, people actually connecting with the speakers and actually taking their free offer and or working with them. And I've had that from 3 to 4 of my speakers. And they're like, I go to a lot of speaking engagements and yours rock. And I do them on a different platform. Most people are not prepared for. But again, I would have never been able to grow it that size if I didn't bring on a co-host, right? If I didn't even go, and do that, because it felt good doing it myself, but I knew there was something bigger in letting it go. So that's a great example is, even if you can do it yourself, just like Natalia said, go find people that you can outsource and collaborate with, because it'll only make it stronger and bigger because you have the power of 2 or 3 or 4, right? If you get your A team around you, whatever that might be. And as far as even MBX goes, prior to the pandemic, we had 15 events in Maryland per month, and I ran every single one of them. And every one of them had 20 to 40 people in attendance. And I was running all over the Maryland. And then, of course, you guys know the pandemic shut it down. We went virtual. And then I got smarter and I said, wait a minute. What if I brought on a team? What if I brought on leaders? What if I brought on people that could run my events so I could stay in the background and make sure all the tech's working and make sure all the advertising and the marketing and the exposure and all that's going on? So now I have 9 leaders that are in Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Texas that I could have never had if I didn't open up to collaborating with them, right? To working with them. I'm actually joint venturing with them so they can run their own events in their own states. And we're going to be in every state. But I couldn't do that if I kept it very selfish, right? If I kept it all about me, I couldn't do that. And so
Blaney,
now,
I love that because
Aw.
we do the same thing. We are partnered with the C-Suite Network that has 20,000 members, paying members, men and women all over the world. We are partnered with Women's Biz Global, who provide a lot of free media opportunities for our members. We are partnered with She's the Boss out of Australia, where we hold joint events. We are partnered with Wind Trade Global in the UK, where we do joint events with them. And again, there is a sharing of events, programming, platforms, resources, tools, and members. So we give free membership to Leadership Global for some of our partners. We also have joint ventures with other partners. We have we are connected and partnered with 4 different TV networks. We give opportunities for our members to be on Hulu, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. I don't want to own a TV network, but I can partner with TV networks. And so we're partnered with 4. We're partnered with the largest business podcast network in the world. I don't want to build a podcast network, but I can partner with people that are developing phenomenally deep, rich, wide networks of podcasts that our members can have access to and leverage. So exactly the same sort of idea that I don't want to own a media company. I don't want to own a podcast network. I don't want to own a TV network. But I know lots of people that do have those assets and resources that we can leverage on behalf of our members. And we partner with many other membership-based organizations where we're aligned on mission, vision, and values. And as long as we share the same values, the same mission, the same vision, we can provide value to their members and they can provide value to ours. And so it's a win-win-win. I love that you're doing that.
Thank you, Linda. And I'm always looking for new joint ventures, like you said, and new partnerships. We just partnered with somebody else who's part of the Grant Cardone University, and he's actually partnering with us to up-level our members. And again, I don't want to learn that, but he does. He does it so well, and he fits right in. We're also doing an MBX joint collaboration book for our members. So 30 of our members are going to be in a book featured 30 chapters. And so that's in the works right now. And so those are things, like you said, they probably would never write a book. These are people that are business owners, entrepreneurs who probably don't even understand the power of a book, right? Especially a joint collaboration book all about networking, where everybody who reads it is going to be interested in meeting them because they're all about networking. It's going to be called The Curious Connectors, by the way. So we're really working on that. But again, those are things one of our members happens to be a book publisher, so I'm using her, right? Because I want to give back to our members.
Exactly what we did too. We just published a book called The Great Leadership Awakening. It was published by one of our members. It included 32 of our members, and now they all get to say they're best-selling authors, right? They're best-selling authors, and they can add that to their bio. They can add that to their LinkedIn profile. And we had an in-person book signing celebration in Beverly Hills, California, but we've all been connected now virtually, and we support each other and we cheer each other on, and we provide all kinds of support for every single initiative of these 32 authors.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I just wanted to throw a little spin on it, on different ways to look at connections, look at collaborations. Don't fear them. Don't have that negative mindset, because the abundance is out there, and you can make, like I know Natalia said the same, that the power just exponentially grows when you bring in other people to work with you. One of the things I learned during the pandemic is I had to stop thinking like the Lone Ranger, right? I had to stop flying solo. And that was me. And actually that is who I was, because that's the way I was brought up. That's the way I was engineered. And I was good at it, right? And so when I started realizing that I can do even better, I can take my business to the next level by doing collaborations, like bringing in leaders to run events. I don't need to run them all. I don't run any anymore. And I mentioned to some of you, I actually have a resort that I'm purchasing in Mexico, where we're going to be doing retreats and bringing together people. I'll be hosting my own, and then others will be bringing their teams to us. And those type of collaborations, I'm so excited to be able to build experiences and give experiences, because I love doing events. So what better to do them on the Caribbean Sea, right? So I just am so excited to be able to share that that venue with people that want to give amazing experiences to, like you said, whether it's write a book in a week, right? Or whether it's, learn podcasting in a week, or whether it's just, hey, let's do some brainstorming for our businesses and see what we can come up with. Because I love masterminding. Like, masterminding to me is so amazing. And we actually do masterminds in MBX. And like you said, like, I think Jill said it, you get to know people on a different level when you're helping them solve challenges and problems. Mm-hmm. And so then those joint collaborations and just start to pop, because now you know them at a level that you can say, hey, you know what? Why don't we do an event together? Or why don't we write a book together? Or why don't we do a podcast together? Because I don't want to do it by myself, right? There's so many things that you can do when you start thinking outside the box and be open and listen. I think that's the thing, is when somebody comes to you and says, I got this idea, you need to say, yes, tell me more. I want to hear it. I want to listen. And my dad taught me that. Like, you could always say no, but don't just shoot it down. Like, listen to what their idea is. And I always say sleep on it. I'm a big component of take it all in, let your brain go to work in the middle of the night, because it will, and start to solve it, pros, cons, and then you wake up in the morning and you'll have your answer if it's a good collaboration or a good partnership or not. But you don't have to answer them right away. Just let your brain do its thing. And then you'll be surprised at the miracles of just abundance that comes to you when you get out of that Lone Ranger mentality. So thank you for having me, guys.
I just want to follow on with something there, if I may.
Yes.
Loved what you said, Lainey. I wonder, this is me thinking out loud, so forgive me. I'm just thinking while I'm speaking. But I wonder if a lot of us start off as, Lone Rangers because it serves us when you start a business. If you think about, I'm now 10 years into owning a business, an online business. So you won't be surprised that probably more than 90% of my friends are business owners. But when you start off, it's the opposite. You don't know many other business owners. You tend to know a lot of employees. Your family, your friends, most of them will be employees. So to have that kind of Lone Ranger attitude that Blaine was talking about, it serves us in the beginning, because you don't want to think like the crowd. You want to think differently. The problem is when we keep that Lone Ranger status beyond the first couple of years. I didn't really start properly collaborating until I would say 6-7 years into my business. And I just think of how much further I would be now if I knew what I know now, that to collaborate, don't be thinking you have to do everything yourself, find strategic partners, find, freelancers who can help you so you can give out projects so you can do what you are meant to do rather than trying to do everything yourself. You think you are saving money when you do everything yourself. You're actually losing money. It's as simple as that. You should be doing specific things that make money. And everything else should be farmed out to everybody else, as far as I'm concerned. And don't do what I did and wait 6 years before you learn that lesson. I would say the first year of your business, if you want to be a Lone Ranger, go for it. But then after that, start collaborating, because it really is, I think if you do it right, it could be the best of both worlds. Because if you think about it, you have, if you're an employee, the wonderful thing about being an employee is the collaboration, the teamwork that's valued. The wonderful thing about owning your own business is being the master of your own destiny. Well, if you're a collaborating business owner, you literally are getting the best of both worlds. And yet so many people don't know that. And it took me 6 years, 7 years nearly, before I figured it out. So don't be me.
It took me 5. It took me 5 years to figure it. 5 years to figure it out. So exactly.
I think that's a confidence thing as well, isn't it? When you first start out, that first year or two, am I doing it right? This business malarkey, have I done it right? So there's this insecurity about you. And I think once you kind of work out what your purpose is and what your mission is and what your business is truly about, and it's connected to who you are as a person, then you become a little bit braver. So then to collaborate with somebody, you don't feel like you're going to be pushed around or pushed into a corner or sort of somebody would take over what you're doing and you'd have to argue and stake your claim. You feel like, no, I know, I'm confident now. I know myself and I don't need to go down that road. So collaboration becomes more natural and easier. But we are taught from a very early age to protect yourself, to look after yourself, to, don't share. It's called cheating if you share. All those kind of things. I have to do it on my own. I'm going to be a success all on my own. well, nobody really is successful on their own.
Yeah.
Even the lone marathon runner has a whole team of people waiting to help them. So I think that first year is, be that lone ranger, ask for help and support and go for it. But I think it's just about getting to know who you are and why you're doing it. Are you doing it just so you can get away from that horrible boss you had? Or are you doing it because you're building a business that actually is going to make a huge difference to an awful lot of people? So
I
yeah.
love that, Jill. I also think that, as you said, you can't grow as a leader by yourself. It's literally impossible. To grow in leadership, you have to be able to be surrounded by people who are going to be inspired by you, who are going to be motivated by you. And I also think that you also need to ensure that you have grace for yourself and for other people through that journey too, because for sure there will be setbacks, there will be missteps. And I think it takes patience and persistence to recognize that in a collaboration, in a partnership, or even in a team environment, there will be mistakes, there will be missteps, there may even be spectacular failures. But you need to be patient to create space for those that you're in partnership with, those that you're in collaborations with, to break through the issues, the problems, the obstacles, rather than breaking down. So we always talk about where's the breakthrough, not the breakdown during difficult times, because there's always a breakthrough around the corner. But if you allow that relationship to break down, you'll never get through the breakthrough. So I do think that there has to be a sense of grace for yourself and for other people that you're in partnership with, other people you're doing collaborations with. You need to be patient and persistent, recognizing that, listen, we're all flawed human beings. We're all going to make mistakes. But if you have the right intention and you are united in a shared vision, a shared mission, a shared goal, then that level of trust will always sort of shine through. That will be what wins, is that sense of trust and familiarity, the two cornerstones that are built up over time through 1,000 small acts in partnership and in collaboration every single day. It's the 1,000 small acts that build trust, that build familiarity, and that allow you to move through the difficult times, right? And I feel like even with Julie and I have been in relationship for 2 or 3 years now. And it's 1,000 little small acts that Julie does for me. It feels like routinely for her. It just is very natural to her. But over time, it's built up trust and familiarity. And it's allowed me to know that in that repository of goodwill, I can be patient with Julie and persistent with Julie to build that relationship over time.
Awesome. Ladies, we could go on for a much longer period of time. Unfortunately, our hour is almost over.
You guys have made me feel so much better. I don't even feel all that ill anymore. I insist we carry on. Because I think as soon as I get off this call, I'm going to feel ill again. I'll need to go to bed. So
I just wanted to say that what you shared, Mitali, and what you've all inputted just there about the Lone Ranger and when you start off your business, you guys are so far ahead to where I am. So I feel like you're all talking to me and giving me some great advice. But yeah, it's something that needs to be addressed, that you need to transition from Lone Ranger to collaboration in order to make your business really take off the ground, right?
Yeah.
It's a multiplier in so many ways, right? It is a multiplier collaboration. Julie, would you lead us in? Just we're probably only going to have like 30 to 60 seconds each, folks, to kind of tell your final comment and your contact information. If you'll lead that round for us, Julie, and then we'll sign off.
Okay. Well, my final comment would be definitely get involved in collaboration. Start small, like I did. Branch out, attract the people, your tribe, who really resonate with you, who you can trust, and then just go from there. And basically, the world is your oyster. You just have to get out of your comfort zone and really find the people who really want to help you, because we're human beings. We desperately want to help each other, especially women. Women have this, natural instinct to help each other, and that's a wonderful place to be. And I'm grateful I'm female.
Yes.
So You can find me on Linktree. I've got all my links on Linktree. If you just look up Julie Elves, you'll find everything about me there.
Awesome.
Blaney, how can we contact you? What's your final comment?
All right. So my final comment's just going to be, don't be afraid of collaborations, right? Keep an open mind with them, listen to them, and then make a decision if it's a good one or not. And you guys can find me, there's two places. You can find me at mbxevents.com, mbxevents.com. But I also have a digital business card. It's connect.thefrugaltechie.com. There you can find all the different ways to connect with me, connect.thefrugaltechie.com.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Mitali, what are your final comments and how can we contact you?
My final comments are collaborate, join networks, join Jill's network. I'm part of Jill's network, I'm going to be joining Blaney's network and Linda's network now, because why the hell would I not? Just get out there and start networking online and offline. I was in Ohio a few days ago because I was at the world's oldest plant-based organization is based in Ohio, believe it or not. I didn't even know about it. And I could have gone to the virtual summit, but I chose to fly over the pond and then get stuck there with storms and tornadoes and not be able to get home on time. But it was all worth it, because I think sometimes, especially if you've got an online business, which most people nowadays do, we kind of get into this mentality of just like being this mad inventor type on a laptop and just doing everything ourselves and, holding ourselves away. We've got to get out there, virtually and physically. We've got to get out there, because that's where the magic really happens. The rest of the stuff, the tech stuff and all that, you can hire people to do all of that for you, but you are you, and you need to be out there so people can feel who you are as a person. That is when your business is going to really take off.
Awesome.
Oh, and where you can find me, veganpublisher.com.
Cool. Jill, what are your last comments? How can we find you?
My last comments. Well, everyone's welcome to Collaboration Global. We have a monthly meeting the last Tuesday of the month online, and in July, if you're anywhere near London on the 25th of July, it's going to be hybrid, so in person and online. Just go to collaborationglobal.org. If it doesn't work, because you spelled collaboration wrong. But my final say is, I'm going to pinch the words from Margaret Mead, who had the great quote, "Never doubt that a small group of committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." And I truly believe that. And I think what we're doing here is a small little part. Whoever's been listening, hopefully they get inspired by the idea and the possibility of what collaboration can bring. And I think if we just keep dropping that sense into a bucket and we spread those ripples out there, we can make a much better world and leave our legacy for everyone else to carry on. Thank you.
Well said.
Wonderful.
And last but not least, Linda, what are your final comments and how can we contact you?
Thank you. Jill, I just want to say I have literally shivers from what you just said. But my last comment would be to find partnerships, find collaborations that emphasize transformation over transaction. If you really want to achieve the scale and depth of impact that is required to catalyze real, substantive change, then find those relationships, find those partnerships and those collaborations that focus on transformation over transaction. You can find me at linda@leadhershipglobal.com or our website, leadhershipglobal.com, leadhershipglobal.com. I'm also active on LinkedIn and Facebook and all the social media platforms, of course. And I try to be as responsive as I can, especially on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic.
Awesome. Julie, thank you so much for agreeing to be the co-host today and to bringing this amazing panel. This has been phenomenal, ladies. This has been one of the best collaboration conversations that we've had, because you all bring so much depth to the subject. You're all living it. And I love that. I wish we had more time. Unfortunately, we're out of time. So
it's been a lot of fun, I have to say.
Good. Awesome. So folks, we'll see you next time on Collaboration Conversations. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.